How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now, we're very close to 1,000 subscribers. We may or may not have hit it by the time that I upload this video. I don't know. If we have, thank you very much. If we haven't, we're very, very close. But either way, today I'm going to be talking about breaks of structure and how I use them and how you should be using them as well, because I see a lot of people use them wrong. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how I use them so that you can avoid making the same mistakes that you have in the past. So we're going to jump onto the charts now, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. As you can see, we're at the charts now. Now I've made myself quite small just so you can really sort of see this a bit better. But basically what we're looking for in a break of structure, and a lot of what people do is they do it wrong, okay? They draw their breaks of structure wrong, and they don't seem to have the best idea of what they want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to correctly draw it in a way that makes sense, basically. So this is a good example here of where I see some people go wrong, this sort of stuff here, right? So a lot of people like to use the wicks, and I know they do this for certain reasons and everyone has their different strategy, but for me, using the wicks is not a good idea, and I'll show you why in this setup here. So if we were using wicks as a break of structure, this would be your low, and then what we would have is, as you can see, we've printed the low here, and what you'd have is prices come back up and it's pushed down, and where has it put its new wick? People that use wicks would see that as a break of structure, and the problem with that is, and the problem with using wicks as a break of structure is, wicks show where price is gone, not where prices ended. And what I mean by this is, if I draw an example here, so say we've got price doing this and it does that, but say this bit here is just a wick, and what the candle's actually done is the candle has actually closed here. So maybe this is the candle here and this is its wick, and like this is the top of its other wick, or something like that, right? And all this is actually showing you is at some point in, for example, the 15 minutes, price has gone down to this level, but it's failed to stay at this level. Where it's actually managed to get to is this level, obviously here. And if I show you back on the live markets here, what this is saying here is you have this low, price pushes down, wicks down into this area here. But what this is actually showing you is price tried to go below this wick, but it didn't have enough seller momentum, and it actually closed up here. So let me show you the correct way of looking at this sort of area, and how I would look at this sort of area is I use the bodies, not the wicks. And I know a lot of people use bodies, a lot of people use wicks, it's fairly split, but the reason why is because if we draw this across here, you can see that we pushed down and we didn't really break this low, especially, you know, these candles here. We didn't really break this low, and so for me, I would not be looking to further sell. Now you may go, well, Oscar, these, you know, candles closed below this low, but I will get into that in a minute on the video about what's a good break and what's a bad break. But this here is a clean or clear example as to why you shouldn't use wicks, right? And same again with more recent PA. If I go to it, say you wanted to look at this and you'd go, you know, say you were using wicks, right? Obviously you have this high here, great, price printed a new wick here, so this is now your new high. And then what do we have? Well, later down the line, price comes down, it comes back, and guess what? Wick goes above, and in most people, or in people that use wicks, would say it's a break of structure. But if I draw this back on, just draw this one, so people would see this and go, oh, it's broken the highs, that might mean, you know, we're going to buy. And what they may do is they will see this fair value gap here like that, and they will go, Okay, brilliant. It is time to buy into this fair value gap, and what happens? They get stopped out and they, lose the trade. How would I see this then? Let's do it my way, or not even my way, but other people's ways that use the bodies. Well, again, instead of using the wicks this time, what have we done? We've pushed up and we've closed above. Okay, that's a good break to the upside. But what do we see here when this high is printed? Because we've come down, created a low, pushed up, created a high, come back down, broke the lows, and then failed to break this high. Now, why has it failed to break this high? Because I ignore wicks. Where does the body close? It closes below this high. Very good area to sell, considering the fact that we've already broken this low here and printed a new low here, failed to break it, and obviously we've sold off. So that's, again, the difference between my form of breaks and other people's forms of breaks. And even in just small situations like this, they would look at this wick, get broken by this wick, and they'd say that this has broken to the upside. Whereas I would look at it like this, where you have the high here, price has come down, failed to break, and then pushed up. So that's, again, the difference as to what I look at. Now, as I said, how do you identify a good break? Well, this is something I'm currently backtesting because I want to have an exact pip amount of what it needs to break by. But at the moment, I kind of do just do it by eye. And if you backtest enough, that's okay. But what I mean by how do you identify a good break? Well, actually, before I get onto that, I'm just going to show you one more example that literally happened here. Is people that use wicks would, again, draw a wick here and see that it's wicked into this area, and they would see these wicks and go, oh, it's broken. But no, that is not right. The reason why it's not right, and the reason why you shouldn't use wicks, is all they are showing you is price went to this area at some point in these 15 minutes each of price action. It never closed there. It never had the seller momentum to close below. It just went there at some point, but then got pushed back up by the buyers or the bulls or whatever, and obviously it flew to the upside. But that was very news induced. But a lot of people might see that as a break to the downside and want to sell maybe in this area here or something, and they get absolutely wrecked. Whereas I would see, if I draw this across, how I would do it, I would see this as a failure to break the low. And in fact, we might then start looking for buys if this high was to break, because obviously we don't want to sell until the previous lower high is broken. So, we don't want to buy until the previous lower high is broken. So yeah, how do you identify a good break? Well, it's quite simple. And if I could just show you an example here. So what does a good break look like? Something that has momentum, really. So you can see that we have this high here. Why is this the high here? Because this was caused the push to break below this low here that caused the push up, right? And what do we see? Price shoots through and breaks the high with a lot of momentum, okay? That's a good break. However, where I would not want to be buying is in a situation like this, right here. What do we have? Well, we have this high, and what do? We push above it, correct. But is there much momentum? If you look at that compared to the break here, not as much momentum. And so say you wanted to maybe buy in this fair value gap here or something, you can see it doesn't work out. And the reason for that is because it's not ready to buy yet. Although we may have slightly broken to the upside, we haven't truly found the sort of bullish potential to keep price moving in an upward direction. Whereas here, what do you see? A lot more strength. Now, obviously, this is, going to be slightly time related because, this was as we were coming into London session, end of Asia, and this was right at the end of New York at about 8 p.m. UK time. So, of course, it's not going to have as much momentum, but I just want you to see the examples of what I was saying. And it's the same with this example here, where, as you can see, it really struggled to break, and so it's not a good break to the upside. So hopefully you found that useful. If you do, let me know in the comments or whatever. And as I said, we're very close to 1,000, if not hit it. Me and The Rock are very grateful for that, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be doing a giveaway / 1,000 video special, something, I don't know. When I hit it, I'll have a think. But hopefully you found this video useful. If you want to know more about how I trade and how I use breaks of structure, feel free to check out my Telegram or whatever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I post on there as well. But I really appreciate you boys coming on today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.